This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
I'd like to call the February 13, 2025 regular meeting of the North Haven Board of Education to order at 6:30 p.m. May I have a motion to approve the December 12, 2024 Board of Education regular meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. May I have a motion to approve the January 9th, 2025 Board of Education special meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. May I have a motion to approve the January 14, 2025 Board of Education special meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. May I have a motion to approve the January 16, 2025 Board of Education special meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Student representative reports. Senior Rep Joe Salamini.
So the SAT's coming up in March. North Haven High School is happy to once again offer a free after-school SAT prep course for any interested students and from our certified math and English teachers. And this is available to everyone, and a letter was sent home to parents. Also, the Best Buddies Club held their monthly meeting, which was a great success, where everyone participated and had fun with games and activities. And there's a new club coming to North Haven High School called Females for Finance. All female high school students are invited to participate in tutoring with female Yale finance students. It is a curriculum-driven, small group tutorial providing a foundation of financial literacy, investment, and skills such as those.
Very good. On to Raghav or Haridwa.
Yes.
I know it.
So course selection is near completion. So actually today, everyone's selection forms are due. And in the next steps, council to review the course requests for completeness and alignment with their graduation requirements before the scheduling team begins to build the next year's schedule. In honor of Black History Month, our diversity team and HBCU Club will welcome back Jeffrey Fletcher to speak with our juniors on February 27, 2025. Mr. Fletcher is a retired police officer and the owner of the Ruby and Calvin Fletcher African American History Museum. He's done a fantastic job teaching our students about Black history over the past few years.
Thank you both. Nice, short, prepared, on the money. Good job, guys. I appreciate that. You all right? Am I all right? Yeah, right. What's up? Okay, we're going to open up for public comment on any non-agenda item. If anybody would like to say anything, just come on up, sign your name, and say your piece. Does anybody like to speak tonight? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to move on to standing reports. We're going to move on to ACES.
All right, there's a short meeting today. They talked about the governor's proposal for $30 million to be added to education. They went over the budget for ACES and the building programs that they have for the 3 schools they're taking over. They're, like everybody else, there was a big question on what's going to happen with federal monies, short discussion on that. And they talked about the fact that there is some legislation coming forward concerning special education.
Does anybody have any questions for Marty? Thanks, Marty. Curriculum, instruction, and planning?
We met before the meeting tonight. There was a field trip proposal that came up for the FPS International Conference, which will be held again this year at the University of Indiana in June 4th through June 8th. The committee approved the FPS field trip for all teams that qualify. There was a new club proposal at North Haven High School for the Finance Association. That was approved. We talked about, pardon me, it's only a name change for math courses at the middle school. The middle school will align course names to match the high school beginning next year. What was 8th grade advanced math will be called Algebra 1 to align with the high school course, and 8th grade mathematics will now be named pre-algebra. And then lastly, Mrs. McKenna provided an update on the Bookworms program and the professional development that'll be going on tomorrow at the elementary schools, and I think she's going to talk more about PD in her report later.
Do you have any questions for Joe? All right, finance and operations.
We also met tonight, right before this meeting, we had good discussion about the current fiscal year budget, elementary audit that Christian's going to fill us in during his report. And at the Board of Finance budget workshop, there were some questions about why some of our lines have money in them as well as some left. I want to just say publicly that we encumber known expenses and that are guaranteed to come through. So that's standard financial accounting practice. If anyone has further questions on that, I'm happy to discuss further. Literally anytime. I love talking about our budget. And that's it.
Anybody have any questions for Amanda? North Haven Education Foundation?
Thank you. The Ed Foundation met yesterday. They welcomed a potential new member to the board and also planning for another new person to join them next month. They've been trying to find a few members recently, so it's great to see a few new people join. I think I mentioned last month that Dot Logan is also part of the foundation, so very exciting.
Excellent.
They're also continuing to prepare for their upcoming trivia night on April 4th. And there was some additional discussion about some support that the NHEF could provide to the district, kind of above and beyond potentially a new scoreboard on the turf or helping with the, also with the sound system at the turf field. So they were talking about ways to support that. And I think that's an ongoing discussion. So I'll continue to update the board.
Excellent. Somebody have a question for Patrick? Okay, moving on to policy. Series 3000, business and non-instructional operations. Policy number 3515A, community use of school facilities. May I have a motion to approve updated policy number 3515A, community use of school facilities?
So moved.
Second? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.
Thank you, board members, for all your work with that policy. Very appreciative.
On to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Unfortunately, a DEI report, we do not have one tonight. Mr. Lawrence had to address some things at the high school during our meeting, so it was postponed, but we did reschedule it in 2 weeks. I did want to provide the board with some federal government updates. Since January 20th, there have been numerous changes and updates to executive orders concerning areas which could impact public education, such as immigration, student support, Title IX. So I just wanted to inform the board that I, along with all the superintendents in Connecticut, are participating in informational sessions and consulting with attorneys just to ensure that the district is prepared and reacting appropriately. I can assure you all at this time there's been no change in our practice, and we continue to support all students in the district. Changing topics here, we recently, Christian and I, received a building request from the Connecticut Film and TV Alliance, and the form requested the use of areas at the high school and the middle school. Now normally, building requests don't come to the board. However, this request was for areas of your school to be filmed for a movie. And as a practice, I do believe the board should be able to weigh in on whether your schools are in a movie or not. So for this specific request, I spoke to the gentleman who submitted it, and I asked for additional information concerning exact dates, times, locations. I also asked for a summary of the movie, because I didn't know anything about the movie that was being shot. At this point, I have not heard back from this representative, but I will share it with the board when I do. However, I just would like confirmation from the board that this is how you all like to proceed moving forward, if there are ever requests like this to film or broadcast the schools in some fashion.
If I can speak for the board quickly, I think the best way to do it is to get those requests and just present them as you did now. You just look, take it from there, on a case by case. Does anybody want to add to that? Anything?
that's fine.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We spoke a little bit about this at Finance Committee today, the elementary school audit. Just want to give a little update around that. The planning team met earlier today. The planning team consists of Christian, Jen Kosnewski, Phil, myself on the district side, along with representatives from MP Planning. At this meeting, we received a draft of what's called the Capital Renewal and Improvement Report of the building assessment, which was conducted mid-January, I think 13th through the 15th. MP Planning visited all 4 of our elementary schools. And the planning group is beginning to walk us through every aspect of that assessment. We have another meeting on February 27th where they said they're going to take us through the nuts and the bolts of the facility condition assessment. So later in the school year, once we get to that point, we plan to have MP Planning share their findings with the board. That includes enrollment projections as well. And at some point in this process, we will need representation from the board, and there will be representation from the town on the team as well. And just in closing, I'd like to thank the board members, teachers, and community members for coming out to support the Board of Education budget presentation to the Board of Finance on the morning of February 1st, which is also a Saturday. We truly appreciate your presence, and I believe it was very impactful for the Board of Finance to see everyone in support of the Board of Ed budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Move on to the Assistant Superintendent's report.
Okay, this evening I would like to highlight some of the work that teachers will be participating in during tomorrow's professional development. At the middle school, staff will be completing some of the state training modules for the summative assessments. They'll also be reviewing student accommodations, planning test locations in separate settings. And this time will allow the staff to become familiar with some changes that they hope to implement in terms of the testing schedule this coming spring. At the high school, staff will be conducting a deep dive into student achievement at this midway point of the year and using that data to make informed instructional decisions. And at the elementary level, teachers will be rotating through various sessions, which will include DIBELS training, which is the assessment we are using this year as a dyslexia screener and to monitor literacy progress, homeworks coaching with the University of Delaware, and then some planning time on their own to implement some of the new units and math curriculum. And on another note, there is a letter at each of your spots, just for reference. I want to take a moment to highlight a scholarship that will be up for approval during Christian's report. A former Board of Education chair and parent from Region 14, where Dr. Cronin was previously to coming to North Haven, and her husband have generously established a reoccurring scholarship in Dr. Cronin's name. Annually, a graduating student will be presented with the $2,500 Dr. Robert D. Cronin Scholarship. We can't thank Deb and Chris Corsico, who are the people putting up this scholarship, enough for their generous donation that highlights Dr. Cronin's 40-plus years of dedication to the children of Connecticut and his legacy of always placing students first, doing everything in his power to see that each student had the opportunity to succeed. And that's part of their letter when they were establishing that scholarship. That's all I have.
Thank you. The Director of Student Services report.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I just have a couple items I'm going to highlight this evening. The first one is a nice, exciting one. The high school will be hosting the college accessibility event. I know Goldie had mentioned this earlier in the year. We're able to continue this great opportunity. We're going to offer this as an evening event on April 30th from 5:30 to 7:30 in the North Haven High School cafeteria. This evening will be an opportunity to meet with local colleges, universities, trade programs to discuss how students may access accessibility resources on a particular campus. We encourage all students and families to attend this event to gather more information and support regarding post-secondary and academic support. Prior to this event, we will share future details with the board regarding which schools and training programs will be attending our event for planning purposes. So more information to come in the next few months. I'd like to thank Laura DeSanto, our coordinator of special education, and Kayla Montalvo, our coordinator of counseling, for helping to arrange this evening for our students and families. I think this is going to be a wonderful opportunity to extend what we currently provide through the counseling department and allow families and students to have that face-to-face connection and help them to move forward in building those plans. Lastly, I just wanted to highlight that in preparation for summer educational services, I wanted to draw your attention that I recently posted for a director of extended school year and will be posting for certified and non-certified positions within the next coming weeks, These supports are required by students' individual educational plans, their IEPs, and under the Individuals with Disability Act, IDEA, to ensure our students receive a free and appropriate public education. And that is all I have this evening.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Chief Operating Officer's report.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start with just our current budget and just highlight 3 lines that we have spoken about previously. I just want to keep them at the forefront of everyone's attention as we look at our current fiscal spending. Line 5600, our tuition line. You will notice, of course, on the Munis report that is running in the negative. We are expecting this month our first installment of our excess costs. We are expecting from the excess cost funding a total of $899,251 to help alleviate that line. We are going to continue to watch that line very closely. Additionally, our professional and technical services line 3300, we are projecting that this will run over by the end of the year. We have spent approximately 75% of that budget. Primary driver for the expenditures in this budget really has to do with additional contracted services for special education needs for in-district students that have arrived. Again, these are legally mandated services that we must provide and could not be anticipated for when the budget was built. And again, I know we've spoken about this before, but I do want to keep this at the forefront of everyone's attention. Electricity, you've seen it in your own home bills, continues to run high, and we are projecting that this will run over budget by the end of this year. At the start of the month of January, as we started to really kind of project out, we did place a budgetary freeze on our operating expenditures to help address these budgetary impacts. We've been limiting expenditures to only those that are absolutely necessary for the operation of our schools and our educational programming. All new discretionary expenditure requests that have not already been encumbered have been placed on hold as this budget continues to be assessed in the coming months. As is typical, you do have the budget transfer report for both the months of December and January in this month's report. A reminder that all those items that are highlighted in yellow are those that are cross object code lines and are respectively submitted to the Board of Education for approval. In addition, you will see where our reserve accounts do stand at the end of the month of January. I would like to highlight that December was a very high month for medical claims. 5 polls were actually made. It has cooled off a little bit in January. We are continuing to assess that as the year plays out as well, in communication with our brokers at Brown & Brown. Transportation update, as I alluded to, I do not have any reports from M&J for the months of December or January, but I would like to highlight that following the December 2024 Board of Education meeting, the district began its contract negotiations with the bid awardee DATCO. We are in the final stages of that process. It has been a very fruitful conversation with them. They have been very responsive to our discussions, and it's been a very productive process already working with DATCO. Cafeteria and food services, just a quick highlight there. Due to fewer operating months of December and lower attendance as we got closer to the holiday break, the program performed at a break-even financially month. but picked right back up in the month of January. With that being said, Chartwell has participated and helped cater the senior to senior breakfast that took place in the month of December, and also catered the high school support staff holiday event and the retirement party for Gene McFarland. In the month of January, Chartwell has also catered the CMEA music competition for the third straight year, which was a major success, and Mr. Salvatore Rizzo and I completed another round of cafeteria audits during the month of January. At the end of January, I did attend the state mandated training for all districts who will be going out to RFP for a new food services contract at the end of this year. Our new food contract would effectively begin July 1st, 2024. It is anticipated that this process will begin at the end of March. I respectfully ask any one of you that would be willing to join me. I do need a board member to join me who will be part of the proposal committee process. And full disclosure, you would have to attend scoring training with me. The resounding hands showing up is amazing. But if you could or would be willing to serve, please feel free to reach out to me. I just need one Board of Ed volunteer for that process. Grants reports, we do continue to use state and federal grant funding to supplement the operating budget. And then finally, I would like to highlight some donations that we have either received and some that do need to be approved by the board. The first of which is the Dr. Cronin Scholarship that Ms. McKenna explained so eloquently this evening. Three others that I would like to highlight. The first one does not require board approval, but I do feel deserves recognition. The North Haven Educational Foundation has graciously awarded $1,603 to assist with necessary lacrosse equipment. These funds will be available for access by either our athletic director and or in collaboration with our lacrosse coach for lacrosse equipment. We did find out that does not need board approval. However, two other donations that we do present for approval. The first of which on behalf of Zurn LK Water Solutions, Mr. David Powley would like to donate one of the company's bottle fillers to the Ridge Road Elementary School for installation in the 4-5 ID hallway. The value of this donation is estimated approximately $2,700. We would be able to install it ourselves internally with our group. Mr. Polly is a godparent to 2 Ridge Road Elementary students and would, quote, like to recognize the outstanding teaching and learning environment at Ridge Road Elementary School. He further stated that he has, quote, been fortunate to get videos and pictures from band concerts, wax museum characters, egg drop experiments, field trips, artwork, after-school activities, and so much more, and would like to donate this water filler to Ridge Road Elementary. And finally, Mr. Peter Badra, a grandparent of a Montouise Elementary student, has offered a one-time generous donation of $1,000 to be provided to the school to be used at the principal's discretion in order to support initiatives or resources that will directly improve the learning environment. A letter from the principal was attached to the report this evening, and of course this donation is submitted for the board's approval.
Does anybody have anything for Christian?
I got a question. In terms of the freeze on the spending,
Yep.
the non-discretionary, is there a freeze on current budget? I know you mentioned about any new requests. What about current budgeted non-discretionary spending? Is there a freeze on that?
Anything that is absolutely necessary for the day-to-day operations and educational programming, we are not freezing on those materials. It's effectively new things that we can make some difficult decisions on right now. All of those requests come through our office. They're first vetted by the building principals and then come to us. So the things that we need to really keep the operation going, we're not freezing, but if we hadn't already encumbered it, we have to make some difficult decisions at this time to really make sure that we're addressing those other items that we think may be in the negative at year's end.
Okay, so if something is on the budget, a discretionary spending that's on the budget, and is it something where you can go and take a look at and say, okay, or the principal can take a look at and say, you know what, we don't need to spend this right now, even though it's already on the budget, and hold on to that? Because my experience is when you have an annual budget, when you get 6-7 months in, when you see things are not going good, you can ask for a 5% give back, or you can tell each unit to basically hold on things that they can hold on. that does not interrupt the flow of the operation.
You just summarized it perfectly.
Okay, so that's what you're doing, not just new requests, but current approved, okay.
Yeah?
I have a question about the donations are so incredibly generous from everyone. I just have a question. The bottle filler, so is there a reason why it's going in that hallway? I can't picture where that is, but I'm just wondering about the accessibility for all of the students, if it's going in the 4-5 ID hallway?
I can speak with Mr. McLaughlin, that's where he had recommended it go based upon where they had the need for a new filler.
Okay.
But that was.
I was just curious, that's all. And then my other,
I can jump in a little bit just from
Sure.
the knowledge of the building.
yeah, sure.
So it's not just the ID, it's the 4-5 hallway. So when you walk in the front door, right, it's immediately to your
To the
right
right,
there.
yeah.
And it is most accessible by the 4th and 5th graders. However, there are K through 3 are in the cafeteria, and many of them use the bathrooms down that hallway during that time. So I think they'll be able to access that water
Okay,
as well.
all right, that makes sense then. All right, thank you. And then do we know why the Education Foundation picked the lacrosse equipment as opposed to like any other sport?
That was a specific donation from a NHEF board member that it was earmarked specifically for lacrosse.
Okay, fair enough.
And music, I believe there's one for music. Is there one for music as well, or just lacrosse?
I'll look, I hadn't,
Okay.
yeah.
I just curiosity, that's all. Great, thank you. And thank you to everyone donating, that's really nice.
Absolutely.
Very
It's an
generous.
incredible gesture, we really appreciate it. May I have a motion to approve the monthly financial report, including the recommended transfers?
I'll make a motion.
Any second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? So moved. Approval of the Dr. D. Cronin Memorial Scholarship of $2,500. May I have a motion to approve the Dr. R. Robert D. Cronin Memorial Scholarship of $2,500 to be given annually by Christopher and Deborah Corsico to a graduating senior?
Make a
So
motion.
moved.
Second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the water bottle filler for Ridge Road Elementary School from Zern Elke Water Solutions, valued at $2,700?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Approval, may I have a motion to approve the donation of $1,000 to Mount Luis Elementary School by Mr. Peter Brada to be used at the discretion of the building principal in order to support initiatives or resources that will directly improve the learning environment?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. And thank you again for those very generous donations. Public comment. We're going to have a public comment session now for anything that is off agenda. I'm sorry, agenda items only. Would we like to say anything today? Okay.
Have one person. I just wanted to thank you guys for all your work on the budget. I hope the community comes out and supports the schools, the kids, the teachers. It's not what everyone wanted, I know that, and Randy, you really, what you said during the Board of Finance meeting, what you read off was beautiful. And
Thank you.
really,
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it. So I hope, again, that the community comes out and supports the kids and the schools. And, you know, there are foundations like the Education Foundation that can help support our community, our schools, in situations and times like this. So I ask that everyone support the Education Foundation when we have events, so that we can raise the money to just give back to the schools. It's not just giving money, we have fun events, like the April event that we have, the trivia night, and we'll have other things going on as well. So that's what I want to say, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Seeing none, may I have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss worker compensation claim W00038598868 and invite Superintendent Patrick Stirk and Chief Operating Officer Christian Strickland into the session?
Make a motion.
May I have a motion to adjourn the February 13th, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of Education?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all very much. Our next regular meeting of the board is scheduled for Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
You.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.